Hello, welcome, and thank you for watching this month's Tarot Talk. I'm intuitive reader Bryan Stafford from Stafford Tarot, and today's Tarot Talk topic is going to be about protections, ways that you can protect yourself when you're giving self readings. And before we get into that Tarot Talk topic, I'm just going to give some time for some viewers to join me on this live broadcast. I'm just going to take a moment to talk about what's new at Stafford Tarot, and we'll be looking at some of the upcoming events to look forward to. And then we'll get right into that Tarot Talk topic. And then after we discuss the protections topic, we're going to be offering, or I'm going to be offering 6 free short distant readings to viewers on this broadcast who show interest in the chat during. If anyone is ever interested in to receive that free reading, let me know by writing in the chat, say hi and that you're interested, and I will add you to the list that I have, and I will go in the order of that the list was maintained later on in the broadcast. So first, what's new with Stafford Tarot? I just want to talk a little bit about the success of my recent Intro to Mediumship workshop. It happened, it was an in-person workshop. We had almost 30 people, or about 30 people participate, which was a great turnout. It took place on May 4th at the Witches Conference and Gathering in Ancaster, Ontario. This was an event that was hosted by Luna Events Canada. Excellent event. It had the workshops plus the market that was attached to it, all witchcraft related vendors and presenters and facilitators. And it went really well. I am looking forward to getting involved again into the next conference and gathering by Luna Events Canada. I'll be watching for those details. Keep watch for more upcoming opportunities for those workshops. Coming soon, I will be releasing those details on my website, staffordtarot.com. The website is always kept up to date. There's a wide variety of resources available for anyone who wants to learn how to do tarot for themselves, or if you're interested about the cards and decks that I use, or if you're just wanting to know about me as a reader or the services that I offer, it's all available on staffordtarot.com. New details will be releasing soon about the next upcoming Spirit Talk live event. This is very exciting for me. It has been very interesting and lots of fun to host this online event previously. Watch for those details on the website. As I get those details out, I will be posting out an event announcement. So stay tuned. And I should mention as well that the next free draw is approaching in June. It'll be happening on Monday, June 18th at 2024. You have until about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to get involved in the draw on that day. How do you get involved? You simply like, comment, or share any social media from Stafford Tarot that mentions the draw, and you're automatically included to have a chance to win. Now, the chances to win are 1 in 5 people. So I choose 1 in 5 out of everyone that gets involved. So for example, if I get 20 or 20 to 25 people involved in the draw, I'm going to be choosing 5 winners from that from that draw. I literally cut the names into strips, put it into a hat, and draw the names. I don't do the draw live simply because it's recorded. I don't want to record the winner's name announcement. Sometimes people come to me for readings for confidential reasons, or they would like it to be confidential and private, and so I can completely respect that. So any winners will receive a message or email from me letting you know that you're a winner. If you participate in the draw and you don't hear from me, better luck next time. I do only respond back to the winners to arrange that next availability to receive your free reading. I don't mind if you want to participate again in the draw. Like I said, it's 1 in 5 chance of winning. So if you get involved a couple times, you have a good chance of receiving that reading. Now, some of the more recent upcoming events that I can talk about are I will be attending the Niagara Region Renaissance Fair on Saturday, May 18th, 2024. It's going to be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that day. It's taking place in Fireman's Park in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Really looking forward to this event. It should be great turnout. There are lots of workshops and activities to get involved in, and I personally will be offering free one-card impression polls to anyone who visits my table while I'm between private sessions. So check that out. You can get on my list to receive a private reading session as well, but I will be offering those free one-card impression polls, so lots of opportunity there. I will also be doing the full moon oracle poll on on May 23rd, 2024. Check the website for details. I usually post it leading up to the date of the full moon. And then on Saturday, May 25th, 2024, I'm going to be at the Witches Night Market. This is going to be in Fergus, Ontario. It's going to run from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a great market hosted by Luna Events Canada. If you're in the area, please check it out. It's going to be great. Lots of vendors involved, over 40 vendors, I believe. And the first 30 people who get into the market will receive a free swag bag from all the vendors that are there. I've been invited to attend the Queer Artisans Market on Friday, May 31st, 2024. And so I'm going to be there from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's taking place on College Street in Toronto, Ontario. It's hosted by the COCQ. I'm really looking forward to this event. I was humbled to be invited, and I look forward to seeing everyone there. I'm also going to be attending the Niagara Region Pagan Fest on Saturday, June 8th, 2024. The Pagan Fest will be open to the public from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is also happening in Fireman's Park in Niagara Falls, Ontario. It's hosted by Purple Pentacles Events. Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. They do rituals and events and also the large market where you'll find the Stafford Tarot table, where I will also be offering some free one-card impression polls while I'm between private reading sessions. And then the next Tarot Talk live event, similar to tonight, but the next one for June is going to happen on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, start time. That Tarot Talk topic is going to be about a brief history in tarot. We're going to look just briefly at where tarot comes from. How did it evolve into what it is today? But tonight's Tarot Talk topic is going to be about protections. How does one protect themselves during a tarot reading? And then I should also just mention that, again, Monday, June 18th is going to be when the free draw is happening. So check that out. All that information is available on my website, www.staffordtarot.com. If you ever want to know where I'm at or some of the events that I'm running, either online or in person, also the range of products that will be coming out soon and services available, all that information is available. Check it out. StaffordTarot.com. It really was designed for anyone who is interested in tarot to fall down the rabbit hole, so to speak. There's all sorts of resources available to anyone who'd like to learn for themselves. So, while you're giving readings, how do you protect yourself? I'm more going to look at this from the perspective of self readings, more so than how you would protect yourself giving readings to other people. I think you need a lot more experience and background before you start giving readings to other people. And I do believe myself that you should have some sort of qualification in giving some sort of spiritual advice or counseling to people. So I'm going to be looking at this from the perspective of self-readings. Self-reading is when somebody is the reader and the sitter at the same time. You are doing a reading for yourself. And some of the ways that you can protect yourself in self-readings, I'm going to categorize this into maybe about three parts. The first part that I want to talk about is about the decks itself. Now, one way that you can protect your deck is to obviously take good care of it. You want to keep it in really good condition. You don't want to leave it out in sunshine where it's going to fade the back of the deck or even the imagery if you leave it out on your table. You want to make sure that you keep them covered when you're not using them, that they're dust free. All of that is going to allow them to extend their lifetime and serve you for longer. Um, in ways of protection, you want to make sure that the deck resonates with you, that the deck that you choose to work with has called to you in some way, or that you connect with the imagery and associations with the deck or the intention of the artist or creator of that deck. You want to make sure that the more you resonate with a particular deck, the clearer those messages are going to be to you. The clearer the messages will be received. So you just want to make sure that you are resonating with the deck that you're using. In no way do you want to just pick a random deck that you don't associate with and just start pulling out cards and using it repetitively. If you're not connecting with the messages that come from a deck, given the imagery or the theme that it could be based on, or the symbolisms that are involved, there's a wide range of decks available. And so if you're not resonating with that particular deck, don't give up on tarot. You may want to just look into other decks that might be available for you. The reason for that is you don't want to misinterpret the messages that are being drawn from within. I think it's really important to protect the way that you're doing the reading. That being said, you can also look at this in terms of space. Creating protections for the space in which you're giving readings, in which you're doing your self-readings in. You want to create a clear and cleansed area. This allows to remain focused and calm during your readings. Also to create a calming environment when you don't want to be disturbed, so that you can get through your reading with a clear head and really receive and consider the messages that are being received. You also want to choose a location that's suitable. For example, a really busy location may be hard to do self-readings, either with so many distractions around you, or if cards are going to fumble. You want to make sure that you're doing readings in a secure place where you have that time to yourself and the liberty to, analyze your reading without feeling rushed or hassled in order to to receive those messages. Now, I do see messages there. Thank you, Ashley, for that message. I really appreciate that because it allows me to make sure that I am receiving the messages. And absolutely, I have you down on first on the list to receive a reading tonight. I'm going to be giving those short readings in a moment once I just talk about this Tarot Talk topic. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Absolutely, you're also on the list. Second on my list. And I have four more spots available. Anyone who's interested, just let me know. I'll try and catch you as I have and add you to my list. So in terms of, we talked about protecting the deck itself and you setting up protections around you in the space that you're doing readings. But how does someone protect themselves? And that's what we're going to talk about next. And I would recommend that if you're interested in this topic, you can refer back to a previous Tarot Talk topic that I gave about when not to do readings. It was really about when you want to make sure that you're in the right state of mind while you're doing readings. That's really the best way that you can protect yourself while doing self-readings is when you're doing the readings, you want to make sure that you're in a state of mind that you can actually receive the messages that are being given. You want to keep a clear and cleansed energy. So cleansing yourself beforehand, being sure that you're calm and focused. You don't want to bring unwanted energies into your reading. It's okay to play, relaxing music or light some incense or really create a relaxing environment for yourself that's going to help you maintain that state of mind. You want to remain calm. And in order to do that, in order to remain objective, you need to stay calm. Remaining objective is really important in order to accept the messages that are being received. I don't believe you should go into a tarot reading expecting specific messages. I did do a previous Tarot Talk topic on the do's and don'ts of tarot readings, and So that will give a lot of information on that as well. But it's really about, like I said, that state of mind, keeping your mind clear and accessible so that you can receive those messages. If your mind is cloudy, if you're upset, if you're emotional, you are not going to receive the messages the way that they're intended. You may even put extra meanings on the messages that are being displayed just because of that chaotic mindset, or perhaps you're spinning about these other things that are happening in life. And it's really important to close down, really bring down your energy, bring yourself to a state of mind that you're comfortable doing readings for yourself. That being said, you want to clear your mind and clear the deck between readings. When you do your reading session, when the reading session is over and you feel like you've obtained as much as you will from reading the cards, you need to let it go. You need to stop reading. Remove that from your mind and allow your energy to shift. You want to be able to close down the reading session, is what I'm trying to say. You don't want to be carrying that with you, especially if you are giving readings to others. You definitely don't want to carry someone else's energy with you. This is why, for me, when I've switched from doing regular readings interchangeably throughout the night, I will often close myself down and move into the next reading. And I don't want to bring any associations from the previous reading into the next reading. I don't want to mix the energies of my previous sitter to my next sitter. You can look at it in the same way for self readings. You don't want to bring the reading that you gave yourself. You don't want to bring that energy into your next reading. So it's very important to just cleanse and clear the deck between each reading that you give, even in self readings. And those are really the best ways to protect yourself in tarot readings. There are a lot of misconceptions about tarot readings, that you need to protect yourself from evil, or they create portals of different kinds. And I've heard all sorts of different really interesting points of view. To each his own. I have never experienced that from tarot. Tarot is a very, all the messages seem to come from deep within the person that is receiving the messages. How you associate the messages to your life and perspectives that you have is where you gain insight and perspectives. So if you're receiving really negative or evil associations from tarot cards, I would suggest that maybe see a therapist or counselor first, and look at what that's about, because what is deep within you that's being brought to the surface to make you think that way is concerning. And I've never seen anything like that come out in a tarot reading. Tarot readings are always about insight and perspective and the messages we need to hear for ourselves. Even on a subconscious level, our own selves are in a form of protection. We want to protect ourselves. If you think about it in terms of healing, when you get injured and your body wants to automatically heal itself, that's an automatic response. I think we have an automatic response built into us to protect ourselves. And so we just need to assist that. And that's really the best way, is just by keeping your state of mind clear and remaining objective so that you can read the messages for the way that they're meant to be received. I do hope that makes sense. If anyone has any questions about that topic, please let me know. You can write it in the chat. I will be keeping track of those messages. So thank you so much. We can get started into some of those free readings tonight. I do have Ashley, who first requested. Ashley, just let me know that you're still on the call, and if you have a topic or question you'd like me to focus on during your free reading. And then I'll move to Lindsay. You'll be after Ashley. Each reading takes about 15 minutes, and so anyone who gets on the list from this point will have a half an hour wait from here. So just to mention that. Anyone who is interested to get on the list, please let me know and I will add you, and you'll receive your reading in the order that I've collected the names. Thank you, Ashley. I see that you're there. And do you have a specific topic you'd like me to focus on for your reading? Now, I personally am a trans-dimensional tarot reader. That sounds more impressive than what it is. It's basically meaning that I look at the dimensions of different decks within one tarot session. So for you, Ashley, to get started, I'm going to pull one card from this deck. This is equivalent to a one-card impression pull that I often offer at markets and festivals. If people see me in markets or festivals, or at my tarot, my Stafford Tarot table, I'll offer free one-card impression pulls. And it just gives them an opportunity to see what I'm about and who I am. But I always like to start my readings with a one card impression pull to tell me something about where you're at energetically in the moment. And then I'll move to this deck, and that's when you'll have an opportunity for me to focus on that question, topic, or leave it general. So for you, Ashley, the card that came out for the impression pull is the Star card. It did not come out reversed. And so I find this a really interesting card to come out. It is a more important message out of the tarot deck that needs to be heard because it's a higher arcana card. What that means is that it's not based on a suit or a court card. It's like the more important messages in the deck that really lay the theme. And the theme for you, Ashley, is to believe in yourself. You have this bright light inside of you, similar to the Star card as it describes. You have this bright light that shines inside of you, and the brighter you shine, the more people around you reflect and heal from that light. So you have a skill or something that you can share inside that makes you special, Ashley, and you can shine that light. Because this card did not come out reversed, I think you may know what I'm talking about. I think you have a hint of what's there, that you are aware that you have something inside of you that's different or special or unique or talented, or there's something, this light that you sense. If it was reversed, it would mean that you don't, that you're unaware that you have this gift. Either way, this card tells me that you have this special light inside you. When it's reversed, it just means you may not agree or believe that it's there. But because it came out this way, I think you know it's there. And you can trust this light to guide you. Okay, thank you for that confirmation there, Ashley. I do see that message. I sure do. So you know what I'm talking about. So do you want me to leave your reading general? Quite often when readings are left general, the messages that need to be heard are what appear on the table. But it's up to you, Ashley, if you'd like to refine what you're looking for from this reading itself. Otherwise, I'll just leave it general. I'm just watching for your message there. General is perfect. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Ashley, 3 cards. 2 of them are higher arcana. Again, more important messages out of this reading. And then we have a suit. I'm going to start at the suit and work my way to the higher arcana. The suit card that came out is the Queen of Cups reversed. This is the way the card came out as. Normally the card looks like this. And with queens in tarot, they're part of the court cards. So queens and kings sit on their thrones and make decisions in the best interest of people in their world. Cups are about emotion in tarot. And so when we're queens of emotion, when we sit in our thrones and make emotional decisions about our world, these emotional decisions are often in consideration of other people, how these decisions are going to affect the people around you. Queens have more nurturing emotional decisions. Kings are more direct, and there's usually consequences involved. So because it's the Queen of Cups, Ashley, I feel like for you, with it being reversed in the way that it came out in your reading, you're having trouble sitting in this throne. You're having trouble making these emotional decisions that are going to affect the people around you. Now, the 2 cards beside that, I feel like they're speaking together, and so I need to speak about this. It's the Temperance card and the Wheel of Fortune card, both together. This is the way the cards present. Now, the Temperance card is often about finding a balance, creating a balance in what you're doing it the right way for you, and that it's intended. And what's really standing out for me is not only the flowers in the background of the card, but the way that the main character is sort of dipping their toes in the water, like they're testing the temperatures. And I feel like this is relevant for you, Ashley, in the way that you're balancing this out for yourself. Just know that because of this card speaking with this, you have this balancing that's being created and doing it the right way or doing the right thing. And then you have this like patience where the reward is after the fact, where you have to put in the work now and have patience, and eventually it'll reap reward. Like your fortune is coming. It's in the distance, but it's coming. I think with this being together, I think the first thing you want to focus on, Ashley, is if you can flip this card around and figure out what's missing that allows you to sit in the throne of the queen to make these emotional decisions, that's going to like propel you on your way. But in the meantime, this card is reversed. So something's stopping you from sitting in the queen's position. Now, I do see your message there. I think that means that I'm accurate in this reading. And so I'm going to extend further using another deck. I'm wondering which deck to look at. Now, given that 3 Higher Arcana cards have come out and they're all upright, I do feel like that you are communicating with yourself in this, that I think you are on the right track. You just have to turn this Queen card around, this emotional decisions that need to be made. I'm going to, I feel drawn to my Elementals deck, and so I'm going to draw um, I, I feel like I should draw a couple cards from this deck, and we're going to look at how those cards speak together. And I'm looking at this in terms of the involvement, the elemental involvement of this. I feel like the deck's wanting me to take specific order here. So two cards I felt drawn to pulling out are really interesting, and I'll talk about it in a minute. One of them is about the home or the health card, and the other one is about the East. Now, with these two cards speaking together, it's really about the intellectual process that you're putting into this that's going to bring comfort and health. So I feel like that this is speaking together in terms of what you need to hear is that you're putting in the right thought and process in order to have things together the way that you need it to be. That's the message that's coming out of this. 11 in numerology for the health card is often like a student health, like when we learn about ourselves, when we learn about what we need for ourselves, and creating that I want to say comfort, but that's not the right word that fits, but it's along those lines. And what's standing out for me is just the way that the sparkles and magic is just seems to be coming out of the fireplace hearth. And it reminds me of like when there's that fire, it's that warm embracing warm temperature that you walk into on a cold day, and it just keeps things healthy and feeling comfortable. And that's what's standing out for me out of this card. So I feel like for you, Ashley, this could be about how your home is or making it a comfortable place, or it could be about your health in terms of um, creating a healthy um, something of that regard. And then there's just with the East, 3 in numerology is often about communication and how you're communicating that. I think it's really about communicating that with yourself, because what's standing out for me in this is the way that the person is sitting here and sort of in control of what's happening over here. I really feel like that's in case of this, that you're in control of how you're feeling and how you're thinking, because this is like East is like intellectual thought processes. I really think that you're putting the right mindset on this. Oh, thank you for that, Ashley. I do see your message there that this is accurate. I very much appreciate that confirmation. I do hope that this was helpful. Um, the one thing that I do want to stand out is, or that I do want to point out that kind of stands out for me out of the cards that have shown up here, is that only one suit remains, other than East, which could be associated with Swords, which is heavy thoughts and intellect. But the Cups are often about the emotions that are involved. Um, because no wands appeared here, I think it's just as important sometimes to look at what does show up on the table as what doesn't, because what does show up are messages you needed to hear. And I think it's important to point out that you didn't need to hear messages about pentacles or wands. Now, wands are often about the actions that we take for ourselves to get things done or what needs to be done. If you're not needing to hear messages about wands, if you're not needing to hear messages about the actions that you're taking, then I think you're taking the right actions. I think that's why they're not appearing here and why you're getting so many higher arcana cards and confirmation cards. I do hope that that's helpful, Ashley. So I'm going to put the cards away, and then Lindsay, if you're still on the call, I can do your reading. And then anyone else who's interested to receive a reading, just write interested in the chat and I will add you to the list. So Lindsay, just let me know that you're available. Perfect. Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for that. A general reading? Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. Just letting me know that I'm spot on. I appreciate that confirmation, just letting me know that I'm on the right track here. Lindsay, you get the King of Cups reversed. Now, Lindsay, for you, the King of Cups reversed tells me, as I was kind of mentioning earlier about the Queen of Cups being reversed, the King of Cups being reversed means that you're unable to make these emotional decisions, and there are sacrifices involved with these decisions. These are more harsh or more demanding or more forceful action decisions that are involved. When the king looks like this, it means that we're sitting in the throne of the king in order to make those decisions moving forward. When it's reversed, it means that you're having trouble sitting in this throne for some reason, Lindsay. Either sometimes we don't want to accept this responsibility, and so we're hesitant to get into the throne, and there's some of that in your energy. But I feel like it's mostly like unable to sit in the throne, almost like not being given the opportunity to sit in the throne, if that makes sense. Let me know how you feel about that. But I feel like with it being reversed, and what's standing out for me is the crown itself on the king. And the crown is often about like when we put on a certain hat, you know, you have to get yourself into a mindset in order to make the decision. That could be what's needed in order for this card to flip around. Once you get into the right mindset, you wear the crown, so to speak, you're going to then be able to sit in this throne, make those harsh decisions that are going to affect the other people around you. Now, again, with cups and tarot are often emotion involved, and so these are emotional decisions. These are decisions that may be emotional to make or invoke emotion after they've been decided. So just keep that in mind, okay? Once you're able to make that decision, then that card will flip around, but in the meantime, it looks like this. Thank you for that, Lindsay. It makes sense then, you know, all the emotional thoughts involved. I think once you process some of the emotions that are involved, that decision may make more sense or be more clear. Now, Lindsay, the one thing that I notice when I'm connecting with your energy and I'm charging the cards with the intention of your general reading, the cards are kind of hitting each other. They're a bit brisk. They're kind of not wanting to go into a certain order. And that's often a sign for me that the person I'm reading for is like against themselves in some way, or you're not according to your own flow, or you're like your worst enemy in some way. So just keep that in mind as we look at the reading further, okay? Hi, Terry Lynn. Absolutely, I'll write you on the list. I'm just giving a reading to Lindsay, which will take about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll be available to give you a reading. And anyone else who might be interested, just let me know. Now, Lindsay, for you, I have a higher arcana and two suits. The two suits are swords and cups, both reversed. And the higher arcana card is the star card reversed. I feel drawn to starting here and then working through these suits, okay? The star card reversed, we kind of talked about this in the previous reading where the star card came out like this, and it meant that you had this bright light inside you and that you know it's there and you can shine this bright light. When it's reversed, now, Lindsay, it doesn't mean that that bright light isn't there. In fact, this card does not show up on the table for someone who doesn't have that bright light or skill or special ability or something in you that makes you special. And what this is saying is that you don't believe that's there for yourself, and that there is something there about you, Lindsay, that is special, like this bright light inside of you that you can believe is there, and you can trust it's there. And when you start to believe that it's there and you trust that it's there, this card will flip around and you'll be shining that bright light. And you'll be, when other people feel that bright light, it's usually the type of bright light that brings them healing and allows them to benefit somehow from what you're doing. And so just know that when it's reversed like this, you just need to believe in yourself more. You need to look within and find that bright light so that you can shine it, and it'll look like this. But in the meantime, until you can believe in yourself more, it's going to be reversed like this. Now that could be why the King of Cups is reversed in as an example. As soon as you start believing in yourself more, or you see this bright light that you have, that's going to allow you to then be confident and sit in the King's position to make this emotional decision. Now the suits involved are really interesting. We have the Nine of Cups reversed and the Two of Swords reversed. And I'll just show the way that the cards appear here. Yes, and I'll talk about that as well, Lindsay, that all cards have come out reversed in a moment. Now, the the Nine of Cups reversed is often for somebody who's in the process of putting your emotions in check. You're arranging your cups into a row. If you look at the way the card looks normally, this person here has put their cups in a row. They've organized all their emotions. They know exactly how they're going to feel if something was going to happen because they understand their emotions. When the card is reversed, it doesn't mean that you don't understand your emotions. It means that you're in the process of putting your cups in a row. You're figuring out your emotions so that your card will flip around and eventually look like this. Okay, so this tells me that you're in a process of figuring out how you feel about this, working through the emotional process that this has created. Now the Two of Swords reversed is often about not being able to make a choice. And when the card normally comes out like this, two in numerology is often about finding ourselves in the universe or making a choice of some kind, choosing a path. Swords are about heavy thoughts and intellect. You can see here that the heavy thoughts and intellect are literally blinding this person, like they don't have all the information in order to make the decision that they need to. When it's reversed like this, it often means that you're actually not able to make that decision, probably because of missing information. And if you could just remove that blindfold, you'd get a little more information, and then you'd be able to then decide about what you're thinking about. But in the meantime, it looks like this. Now, as you pointed out, Lindsay, what does stand out for me in this is that all the cards are reversed, including where you're sitting energetically in the moment, as well as in your reading. This just tells me that this is not an easy check, Lindsay, that this is something that's really difficult or hard to deal with or hard to get through. It also feels like there's a reason for this. And the reason for that is because of the Star card being present and kind of guiding us through this reading. It is the more general theme of what's happening here. And when I come back to the Star card in your reading, what's standing out for me in the Star card itself is the way that the water's being poured into two different areas. One is pouring into a puddle and it's gathering, and the other one is pouring into sort of a stream and it's flowing away. And I think this just has to do with the choice that's being made, and just choosing the best choice to be made. I do hope that that's helpful. I would like to extend on this further. Given, Lindsay, that this seems to be about believing in yourself and not being able to make some sort of emotional decision, I'm wondering, because of this process of working through those emotions still, I have a feeling that once you get your cups into the right order and you understand your emotions better, that's going to help you then sit in the King's position to make that decision. So I'm wondering if it would be helpful to look at this from my heart chakra perspective. This deck gives great insight in terms of what we need for ourselves. And so if I apply that to this reading, it may give some insight or perspective on where to head next or how to make this decision. Does that make sense, Lindsay? I'm just going to focus that into this deck and then choose 3 cards, and we'll look at how those cards speak to each other in order to get that message. Thank you for that confirmation, Lindsay, that this all makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that. Okay, and the 3 cards that have come out are interesting. You have 1 higher arcana and 2 suits. The suits are different than what came out here, and I'll talk about that. This time I'm being drawn to the suits first and then the higher arcana, so I'm going to go in that order. The first card that I want to talk about is the 7 of Action. This is a fire card according to the color around the border, and it's really about awaiting results. It's really saying for you to, you may need to sit back and await some results. You may need, that may be how you get more information perhaps, but there seems to be some sort of like sit back, ground yourself. What's really standing out for me is the way that this root or this tree is growing up the dress and sort of supporting and grounding this person. That's really standing out for me. And so I have to follow that message that I think what you need to do is ground yourself. I think you need to take a step back, take some, couple breaths of fresh air, and then go into this in a more clear head. 7 in numerology is often about spiritual development. And when we take action in spiritual development, it's usually about what we need most for ourselves. And like I said, with that tree structure root standing out for me, I really think that, like I said, you just need to take a step back and breathe for a moment. There could be something that you're refusing to see out of this. And what it's really saying is don't refuse to see. When this card's reversed, it could mean that you were missing something or that there's something that you may not be fully considering in this that could be helpful to you. I really think that whatever you're refusing to see, you've opened up to, Lindsay. And that's what this card is telling me because of the bright light that's shining around this person's head. I just think that it's about a realization. I think you were in this position where you were refusing to see, and now it's reversed where you're no longer refusing to see. Does that make sense for you? So I see progress in this. I think there may have been an awakening or an enlightenment of some kind that has caused you to take a step back and breathe for a moment. Now, the important message out of the advice that's being given here, Lindsay, is the 11th higher arcana. It's the detach card. The card looks like this, and what's really standing out for me is the bird that's being released. I think you need to detach a little bit from this, and that's why it could be asking you to take a step back with these 2 cards being side by side. This awaiting results and detach. I think you might need to just take a step back and see how things kind of go for a moment. But you want to detach from the situation for yourself. I think what this is really saying is to keep yourself in a proper mindset. You don't want this to get too crazy on your head and or on your heart. You need to be able to detach sometimes. Sometimes this card comes out for someone who just needs to find like peace and grounding, going for walks, getting in nature, starting yoga, or something that just gets, meditation, or something that just helps detach every once in a while from the everyday life or the constant chaos or hassle out of certain situations. The 11 is standing out for me as well. And in numerology, this is often a spiritual advisement number. It's about learning to do what you need for yourself on a spiritual level. And because that's standing out for me and it's the detached card out of this situation, you might just want to be careful or approach it with some clarity. Make sure that you're fully aware of how you're feeling and what you're thinking when you go forward in this, that you're not missing anything. I really think that there's this opening up, like you're no longer refusing to see something, and that's helping. This seems to be all going in the right direction, though, Lindsay. I don't want to discourage you because I do feel like I think you've already been doing the right things in the path that you've taken so far. I do hope that this is helpful. When I look at this reading as a whole, I already talked about how they're all reversed and that this may be a challenging time for you. But what's also standing up for me is that you have swords, you have cups, you have wands, no pentacles. And again, as I said in the last reading, I think it's just as important to look at what doesn't show up as what does. And the fact that you don't need messages about what you need for yourself in this, I think it just says to how this involves other people around you, more so than maybe yourself, or that you're making the right decisions for yourself out of this. It's really about just putting your mindset in the right place to think about what others are dealing with. I hope that that makes sense. Thank you for that message there, Lindsay. You're very welcome. So I'll put the cards away, and then Terry Lynn, if you're still on the call, let me know, and I'll do your reading next. And anyone who may still be on the call and interested to receive a reading as well, just let me know, and you can be next. Thank you, Terry Lynn, for letting me know you're there. Appreciate it. And if you could just let me know if you have a topic or question you'd like me to focus on, or the reading can be left general. Quite often when readings are left general, the message that needs to be heard is what comes up, but it's up to you if you want to try and refine what you're looking for. And anyone else who may be on the call who's also interested to receive a reading, just let me know, write interested in the chat, and I will add you to the list. Certainly, I can do a general reading for you, Terry. I'll just get started with a one-card impression pull, as I have been tonight. It's just one card that tells me where you're sitting energetically in the moment. Now, Terry, notice how when I'm shuffling the deck and connecting with your energy, that there's this hesitance for the cards to get into the right order. And that, again, just speaks to me about your energy, that you may be against your energy or your flow in some way or another. Thank you, Elizabeth. I did just add you to the list, and I'll give you a reading in about 15 minutes after I'm done, Terry Lynn. So just that in your energy, Terry Lynn, that you may be against yourself in some way. Now, the card that came out for you is the Wheel of Fortune. And now what this says to me, Terry Lynn, is because the cards were kind of rigid and rough while I was shuffling them, and this is the card that came out, it may be trying to tell you that you're being impatient somehow. Because the cards were rigid and tense, and it's like you're your worst enemy, and what the card is that came out for that is to have patience, that your fortune will come eventually, but you've got to have patience to get there. You have to take the time or walk the journey that's going to lead you there. And that's in your energy in the moment. So I do hope that that makes sense. Let me know how that resonates, Terry Lynn, and I will move on to your general reading. I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck, and we're just going to look at how those cards speak to each other to get that message. Now, each reading takes about 15 minutes. These are short readings. They are typically what I offer within a 15-minute short reading session. The difference between a short reading and a full reading is that in a full reading, I follow a spread or a layout that takes a little longer. It gives more in-depth information about the cards themselves. Whereas in a short reading, I'll do general or dynamic spreads where it's 3 cards and we look at how those cards speak to each other. Thank you for letting me know that it makes sense, Tara Lynn. I really appreciate that. This card here. Ooh. Wants me to pull out specific cards here. Okay, 3 suits have come out. Really interesting. A wand, swords, and pentacles. I'm going to look at that. I'm just going to go in the order that they came out. This is the Page of Pentacles. It did not come out reversed. And so what this tells me, Tara Lynn, is that you are in the process of moving into a new direction of some kind. And I do feel like the coin is standing out for me in this, but also the feather out of the hat and some of the tree in the background as well is standing out for me. And so I think that this has to do with money, like prosperity, but that money leads to health of some kind. It could be a relief on your mind, perhaps, but this means pages are often when we like take a new direction or we get into a new um, area of some kind, or we take new action. When you think about it in the terms of court cards, you have the king and queen, and they're in the top in the thrones making the decisions. And it's the pages that have to get the messages to the knights, and the knights are the action takers. And so this is often about like when we realize something, or we see the different direction we have to take. And it's some sort of prosperity or financial direction that's going to lead to some health or healing. The next card is the Nine of Blades reversed. Now, this looks like a grim card, especially if it comes out this way, where these heavy thoughts, swords and tarot are like heavy thoughts and intellectual processes. These heavy thoughts are literally binding your hands and stopping you from proceeding. Just know that when it comes out reversed like this, Terry Lynn, that you're in the process of working through these heavy thoughts, that you're working through the heavy thoughts, that and slowly, eventually, you won't be bound anymore. You'll be able to be freed, and you'll be able to take the actions that you need. Now, there is some sort of new action that you need to take, and that's depicted by the Ace of Rods. It did not come out reversed. Shows like this. And so if it came out reversed, it would be not being able to take that action, or deciding you're not taking that action. So just know that there may be some opportunity around you, Tara Lynn, that you'll be able to take action, that this is going to be like a new idea where you'll be able to then move forward in. If you don't know what the new idea is in terms of taking action, just know that a new idea will be coming to you in the next little while. I do hope that this is affirming for you. It does feel interesting. I do think that because there's no cups showing up here, that you're in charge of your emotions. You understand your emotions' involvement in this. And so it's really just about the wands, the actions that you need to take, the decisions that you have to think about, and the direction that it's going to lead you in. And again, if you're sitting in this position now where you have to be patient and that fortune will come in the future, this could be the process that gets you there. I'm wondering how to extend on this further for you, Tara Lynn. Let me know if this makes sense for you. I'm going to extend further using my Zen deck. This deck gives great insight in terms of how we interact with the energies around us. And if I apply that to this reading, it may give good insight in terms of these actions moving forward, how to interact with the energies involved in this reading. Oh, thank you for that, letting me know that it makes sense. I appreciate your message there. So I'm just charging this deck with the intention to extend further into this reading. I'm keeping in mind the energies right from the beginning, and I'm asking this deck to give us some insight in terms of the interactions that are needed here. Just intuitively feel like the cards are ready. Okay. 3 cards have come out. One is a higher arcana, but and 2 suits. And so I'm just going to follow through with that. Really interesting messages coming out of this. I'll go in the order that they came out towards that last card there. This is the turning in card. It's usually about tuning into yourself. And what's standing out for me is the way that the person's dress looks like waves of water. And that's really standing out for me in the sense of like intuition and emotional feelings. I think you're turning into your intuition and emotions. I think what this is really asking you to do is to trust your intuition, that your emotions and intuition are guiding you well, and that you can trust in that. Okay. I also think that there's some external influences around you, and that's coming out through the faces that are appearing around. And even when I connect with your energy in this, I feel like I'm keeping myself from trancing. So you may have a lot of spirit activity around you, or you may have some sort of interaction around you that's trying to influence or get involved. I don't feel like this is negative by any means. I feel like it is positive. It's just like guidance or support. It may mean that you could listen for that guidance or support if you watch for those synchronicities that take place around you, or those when something seems over coincidental. Don't brush it off as coincidence. Look at it like what could be involved in the message here. This is the experience card 3, and numerology is often about communication, where we communicate with ourselves. And it's really what's coming across here is like finding our place in the world. And you can see here that this person is trying to find their place in the world. They're sort of connecting with nature, they're connecting with the tree. And I feel like for you, what this is really saying is just find your own way, find where you fit in the world, Terry Lynn. I think you want to do this your own way. Make sure that you're connecting in your own way, and that there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anyone else tell you that it's the wrong way. And that brings us to the source card reversed. Now, when the source card comes out on the table, it often references like our beliefs. When we look at what our source is, many people consider source God or the universe, or, you know, heaven, or like whatever your belief systems are, deities, whatever your belief system is. And when it's reversed, it's really saying that you can allow yourself to guide you through this, that it's not your beliefs or your source that this is about, or that this is going to guide you. It's about you yourself, internally, what you need for yourself. It means that this is your path, this is your trek. This is almost like when the card comes out like this, it can often be like, it feels like fate, where you have this destination that you're reaching towards or that you're walking towards, and you're not really in control or being knowing where it's headed. Whereas if it was this way, you'd feel guided towards that, right? But right now it looks like this, where it's like, am I guided? Am I doing this? Is this the right way? And you just have to follow your instincts and trust your intuition. Again, it brings me back to tuning into yourself, turning inward. Thank you for that message there. That you feel that. I appreciate that, and you're very welcome, Terry Lynn. Let me know if this makes sense, or if you have any questions, Terry Lynn, about what has come out here. When I look at this reading as a whole, I just want to point out that you do have cups, swords, pentacles, wands. It's just this just tells me that whatever this is about affects or bleeds into every part of your life or your world. That this affects every part of your decisions or a part of your world. And so I just see this as being fundamental, and it does feel positive. It does feel like growth in the right direction. It's just you have to guide yourself. This reading reminds me of that expression that I often say, the journey is often the lesson itself. It feels like for me that if you were told or guided to where you needed to go, you probably would skip the lessons that would lead you there, and you wouldn't end up getting there. And so part of this feels like a lesson that you have to take in order to get to where you're going. I hope that that makes sense, Terry Lynn. Thank you so much for letting me do your reading for you. And then I'll move on to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, if you're still on the call, let me know. Oh, thank you, Terlin, for that comment. That it makes a lot of sense, and I have a calming energy to me. Well, thank you. I do remain calm and very objective during my readings, so that I can deliver the messages the way that they need to be heard. I have delivered some pretty harsh messages before, and I just felt like, the way that it needs to come out is the way that it needs to the way that it comes across is the way that it needs to be expressed. Thank you, Elizabeth, for letting me know that you're on the call. I'm going to start with your reading now. Let me know if you have a topic or question you'd like to ask the deck, or if you want to leave it general like most have been tonight. And anyone else who may be watching on the call, if you're interested to receive a reading, just let me know and I'll add you to the list and you can be next. So Elizabeth, I'm just connecting with your energy and charging these cards with that intention. I'm going to start with a 1-card impression pull, which is going to tell me where you're sitting energetically in the moment. And then I'll move to this deck, and that's when I'll focus on your general reading that you just requested. Thank you for that. And for you, Elizabeth, I get the Ace of Pentacles. It did not come out reversed. This is the way the card looks. And this often means that you're taking a new direction in terms of finances. The coin is definitely standing up for me, and also is the gate, the entrance here that's in the distance. It almost feels like it's an opening of some kind, like an opportunity that's being presented to you and you can walk through it. This kind of card coming out this way with this kind of impression would give me the inkling sense that there could be a promotion or an upgrade or some sort of new opportunity of some kind. So let me know if that makes sense for you, Elizabeth. But that's what's standing out for me, is this coin being offered. It's almost like an opportunity. It's coming out of nowhere, or out of the blue perhaps, and it's an opportunity that you can take advantage of. If the card came out this way, Elizabeth, just know that it would mean like missed opportunity, or perhaps you didn't decide to take that opportunity up in the first place. So when it's this way, it often means that that opportunity is going to be your choice. It's going to be available to you. You hope that makes sense. Do you have an opportunity coming up soon? Because if you're unaware of an opportunity coming to you financially, just know that one should be available to you. So keep watch for an opportunity in terms of finances, because that coin is really standing out for me. So it would be about money or prosperity. And I see your message there for the general reading. Well, remain optimistic. I have a feeling that there's an opportunity around that you'll be able to take advantage of if you notice the opportunity. Just know that if you don't see that opportunity and you miss the opportunity, this card will flip around and you'll have that missed opportunity of some kind. So if you're unaware of the opportunity, if you haven't seen this appear so far, just know that it's in your energy. And so there could be something presenting itself, or something may come available. And then I would give it maybe a few days and see what comes out of it. Ah, now the cards were feeling really flowy, and then suddenly they just went against themselves. And so I feel like you just need to trust in yourself a little bit, Elizabeth. Okay. This is a general reading. I'm just going to pull 3 cards, and we're going to look at how those cards speak to each other. Now, 2 higher arcana cards bookend this reading with a suit. I'm going to start at the suit and work to those higher arcana cards. These cards are definitely speaking together, even though they're bookending. And so I feel like they're just the main theme of what this reading is about, okay? The suit that I want to talk about is the 2 of Pentacles reversed. This often represents not being able to balance out 2 aspects of your life in some way. If it was this way, you'd be working hard to balance these 2 aspects of your life. So just know that this is really difficult. It may be difficult to do, or you've decided not to balance these out. Now, the 2 aspects of life usually are about health or finances, or 2 aspects of finances, or 2 aspects of health. Again, the coins are standing out for me, as well as his little brooch here on his shoulder. And for me, this speaks to prosperity. It's like, feeling proud of ourselves. And so there could be an opportunity coming for you, Elizabeth, that you're going to have to make a choice and make a decision on this choice. Now, the Moon card and the Strength card are the cards bookending this reading, and so I want to talk about them together. they look like this. They came out not reversed, and so it just speaks very clearly that they're speaking together, and that it's giving me the main theme. It's really about following your intuition and breaking some sort of cycle, Elizabeth. I feel like you know your intuition. You have this intuitive sense that you can trust and that guides you. What's standing out for me is the wild animals in the image. And so that tells me that it's more instinctual, that you can follow that intuition and allow it to guide you. Okay. You also can believe in this inner strength that you have inside you. When we have the moon card with the strength card together, it is like one strong person. This is somebody who is intuitively strong and mentally strong. You can see here, I'm not talking about physical strength. This person does not have the lion in a headlock. They're literally using their inner strength to tame the lion. And you can see here what's standing out for me are the wild animals that are responding to the moon. And this just speaks to like following your intuition, following your instincts, that your instincts are speaking with your intuition to guide you. And I think you have all the guidance you need. I think you're strong enough to make this decision, whatever needs to be made, and that you're going to allow your intuition to follow you, which allows you to make the right choice. You're going to make the right choice for yourself. Now, I'm wondering how I can extend on this further. Given that this seems to be speaking about something that is in your energy, but you not necessarily showing to be aware of it. Oh, you're saying you needed this confirmation and validation. So there's something in this that you needed to hear, is I think what you're getting at. I would trust this. I'm going to ask for one card pull from this deck. This is my Sixth Sense deck, and it really gives like random messages that seem to correlate and have to do with what needs to be heard. And so I just feel drawn to this deck, and so I have to follow that intuition. I'm just going to pull one card from this deck, and we're going to ask it to confirm this. I would like to get some confirmation from a Sixth Sense perspective in terms of this message that's coming out. And I just love how flowy these cards are feeling in this. Definitely not against the flow. Now, I'm pulled to the second card, and so I have to pull it out. I just feel drawn to pulling out two cards instead of one. Not sure why, but I'm following that intuition. And the two cards that have come out is the Journey and the Winter. Here's what the two cards look like. So I think the message that you need to hear is that this is a long journey, that this is going to take time, that it's really an adventure in a way, that it's really about guiding yourself in your life. Like when you set sails, you can set your sails. You can't change the wind direction, right? But you can set your sails to adjust. And that's what's really standing out for me in that card. It's about making the decisions you need to end up where you're going, no matter what's up against you. And then the winter card. The winter card is often about instincts and survival. If you think about the harshness of winter in itself, it's about getting through. It's about surviving. It's about following your instincts. You know, whether you hibernate as a strategy, or whether you hunt, or whether you the different associations around winter. And I just feel like with these two cards speaking together, the message that you're really being told is to look at this like an adventure. Allow yourself to change the sails and not try to direct the wind. I think that's going to help you not feel like you're up against the flow. I feel like there's something else that this winter card is trying to touch on. And again, it comes down to the instincts. And when I bring it back to your main reading, when I look at the main cards in the reading itself, the moon card and the strength card, it makes sense to me then why the winter card is appearing. It's about following your instincts, trusting your intuition, and using that strength. And that is all of the associations of the winter card itself. So I just think that it's confirming, it's just giving us confirmation on this reading. Let me know your thoughts, Elizabeth. I'm going to extend just one more time. Um, I'm being drawn to my Sacred Destiny deck. And my Sacred Destiny deck gives really great insight in terms of the portion of life path that we're walking. And given that this doesn't seem familiar, I want to look at the portion of life path that it involves for you. If we can understand the portion of life path that you're walking that involves this, it may make sense why this is happening, or why you're what the opportunity may be to come. Oh, thank you for that confirmation there, Elizabeth, that this does all make sense. I appreciate that. It's been a lot of winter. I understand what you mean. And here's the card that came out for you. This is the Sacred Destiny deck. So it's really about the portion of life path that you've been walking. Let me know if anything stands out for you in the image itself of the card. Now, this is the embracing card. It's really about embracing the moment. It's about seeing the opportunities and taking advantage of them. And it's using the depiction of a crane in the sunset and kind of using it as an opportunity. Now, it depends on how you look at the picture. Is it a sunset or is it a sunrise? If you see it as a sunset in your own, the way that you see this card, Elizabeth, just know that if it's sunset, it means that you reaching the end of the opportunity, or reaching the point of threshold for the opportunity. If you feel like it's a sunrise, then it means that the opportunity is on the horizon, that you can lead into the day with the opportunity. Let your own guidance guide you, because you do have that intuitive sense. The light on the water stands out for you, and that's also what stands out for me in this card, and that's where I feel like it's about the direction that you're headed, kind of like when the cowboy in a western rides into the sunset at the end of the movie. That's the way it's standing out for me. It's like it's the direction or path. If this was a boat, it would make absolute sense that this was the path you needed to follow. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope that that's the way it resonates for you as well. But what's also standing out for me are all these little fireflies that seem to be around, and they're standing out more like sparks than they are fireflies. And for me, that just speaks to the um, possibly the adventure that's involved, but it feels magical. Like this is like an experience to be experienced. So just keep that in mind. Oh, thank you for that confirmation. It makes sense, and that the fireflies hit you too. Trust that, whatever that means for you, follow that intuition, because I do feel like you have that intuitive sense. For me, fireflies are a sense of guidance. When you think about what people associate with fireflies, the light that they give off, and people used to try and put them in jars to create little light. It's like giving you guidance, right? Giving you direction. You can follow the firefly through the dark, and where it goes through the tree. It's about following yourself, following that intuition, and guiding yourself through. I do hope that this was helpful. Um, Now, I want to just point out quickly, Elizabeth, that with this Two of Pentacles being reversed in your main reading, and then where you're sitting now energetically is this Ace of Pentacles. Two Pentacles are really the only suit that's showing up on the table. And so, because I just think it's important messages that you need to hear, I do think that there may be some sort of opportunity to watch out for. I do hope that this is helpful, Elizabeth. Thank you so much to everyone who let me do readings for you and received readings from me tonight. I do have many other opportunities for free readings available on my website, whether if you'd like to get involved in the free draw that's happening on June 11th, the free draw that's happening on June 18th. On Monday, June 18th, you have until about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to get involved in that draw. Simply let me know that you want to be involved and I'll automatically include you in that list. Or all the events, I offer free one card impression pulls, as well as at my Tarot Talk live event, which will be the next one, will be June 11th. Tuesday, June 11th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be offering up to 6 free short distant readings, similar to tonight, what I offered tonight. You're very welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for that message. I'm really glad to be helpful. Thank you to everyone who received readings from me on this broadcast. I really do appreciate it. I really do enjoy meeting all the different people that come on and offering these readings, these short readings. It just gives an opportunity for anyone to get to know me or what I'm about, or the sort of a little bit of a taste of the services that I offer. And so this will be posted on my website, as well as all the previous Tarot Talk live events. You can always check it out. I've been doing these Tarot Talk live events monthly for about 2.5, almost 3 years now. And so there are quite a few topics of discussion to look through. You could learn a lot about tarot just by reviewing some of the Tarot Talk live events. And as well, every Tarot Talk live event offers free example readings that can be reviewed and looked over, and that can also be helpful if you're learning to do readings yourself. If you are interested to do readings yourself, check out my website, staffordtarot.com, where it also has a section literally called Learn to Do Readings Yourself. And it gives you all of the resources that are available listed out for you on my website, and including free video lessons done by my mentor, Lindsay Knight from the Ninth Vibration here in Guelph, which is no longer open, unfortunately. But because Lindsay Knight has retired since then, but she was gracious enough to let me host the video lessons on my website for anyone who was willing to learn for yourself. And if you prefer more one-on-one instruction, I do offer the workshop on learning to do intuitive readings using a technique called the path that helps you intuitively read the cards without memorizing the descriptions of a book. So any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Check out my website, staffordtarot.com. All the information is going to be on there for all the upcoming new events and products that are coming available soon. And I really appreciate everybody coming and meeting with me on this Tarot Talk live event. Take good care, everybody. I'll see you next month. Bye for now.